For those who may be planning on going to the Philippines for the first time, trying to understand Filipino culture can be rather complex and take a foreigner some time to get a handle on. Unlocking its mystery is a bit like heading into the jungle without a good map. You're most likely to get lost. Take the time and effort to understand and appreciate Filipino culture and mindset, and you're likely to find it very rewarding, especially for all of you who may have a Filipino girlfriend, fiance, or wife. And for those of you that go to the Philippines to interact with the local people while exploring the country, then understanding Filipino culture will be beneficial to you, and the locals will certainly appreciate your understanding. So if you want the key points to get a better understanding of Filipino culture, then be sure to stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're looking to date a Filipina and are not sure where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment to the Philippines' #1 dating site where it's free to create an account. The Filipino blood has Chinese, Malay and Spanish are just a few of the races that run in the veins of every Filipino. In addition, the Americans have had a significant influence, with the Philippines being an American colony for 50 years. This contrasting blend of cultures has shaped the unique Filipino attributes. Filipinos are fun-loving individuals who have a passion for festivals and an obsession with singing and dancing. One must know that Filipino culture is very family orientated and has made people have rather relaxed attitudes. Although they may not enjoy the extent of material wealth that many Western countries have, in many ways they're richer through their tightly knit social and family structures. Gender in the Philippines is a matriarchal society where women are greatly empowered. Both in the family and at work, the female influence is significant, with women holding senior roles all through business and in government. And despite what some people may think, you can be sure that many successful Filipino businesses are owned and run by women. Now on to religion. The Philippines is the largest Christian nation in Asia, and they take their religion very seriously. Most Filipinos attend a service weekly, with the church usually being the backbone of any local community. It's very common for people to have all of their family and friends in the same church, and it's important to be mindful of the loyalty this creates when dealing with Filipino people. Now we talk a little about ethnicity. The Philippines is a country of more than 80 tribes, each with their own local dialect. English is taught in all schools and is commonly used as the preferred method of communication for people with different dialects. Although Filipinos are separated by islands, their strong cultural ties remain, and they have a very strong family and community support system. Striking up a conversation with Filipinos is rather easy, as they usually speak English to a reasonable standard. Many are very approachable, outgoing in nature, and would comfortably strike up a conversation with a total stranger. They like talking about their families, local foods, and all things American, like movies, sports, etc. Some Filipinos are enthusiastic conversationalists who have no problem asking personal questions such as your age, marital status, and the like. They are, however, very reluctant to discuss matters of politics or anything else that might cause them to be embarrassed, as this is a big no-no for Filipino culture. Respect and modesty. Social inequalities are common in the country, even though Filipinos generally believe that everyone should be treated the same way. Filipinos are always compassionate with their less fortunate countrymen. Regardless of their status, everyone is expected to act at all times with humility, courtesy, and respect. As something that is distinctly part of Filipino culture, it's customary for Filipinos to address their superiors or elders as sir or ma'am, which as a foreigner you'll notice almost immediately after arrival. Additionally, you'll occasionally hear them use the expression po. When they talk, this is a way of showing respect. For example, thank you po or salamat po. You will commonly also hear them address elders as ate or kuya, rather than by their first names, which is also a sign of respect. You can be sure that Filipinos love their titles and take pride in their accomplishments, be them academic or otherwise. Upon introduction and on subsequent meetings with people, shaking hands firmly is expected, well, at least pre-COVID, of course. Female friends, on the other hand, may greet each other with hugs and kisses. Touching is very common between Filipinos, but Westerners need to be very careful with cross-gender contact, as this may cause offence. One must know that Filipinos are communal and love to share what they have, particularly food. This is why it's common in most restaurants to see family meals. Strangely enough, if you're eating with Filipinos, you'll likely notice that nobody wants to eat the last bite on the plate, and in some situations, they may even eat with their hands. Now, foreigners need to be aware that Filipinos have a very structured way of life, and compared to Westerners, they're not as assertive or independent. This is in part because of the extensive influence of family. Filipino children, no matter how old, are likely to be significantly influenced, directed and guided by their parents. Another dominant behaviour of Filipinos is what they believe a debt of gratitude. If you do something good for a Filipino, they'll usually return the favour. And this is something that many Filipinos feel the need to repay this debt of gratitude to their parents by giving them a portion of their employment income monthly. Filipinos often don't leave home until they're ready to be married or they go off to seek work, and even then, it's still usually devastating for the parents. As I say, Filipinos generally believe they are significantly indebted to their parents for raising them, and placing them in aged care facilities is unheard of. And you can be sure that it's very normal for children to care for their parents as they age. Now, just a little understanding around business, professionalism, and Filipino time. Filipinos are notorious for their lack of punctuality. Whether it's as a result of the horrendous and unpredictable traffic is debatable, but unfortunately, it is a reality that many foreigners will need to come to terms with. Regardless, Filipinos in fact are very reliable workers. It sometimes can be better to go with the flow and adopt the Filipino practice of flexi time, which essentially means staff who arrive late simply work back to make up the time, rather than fight the daily punctuality battle. Now, a little around display of emotion and saving face. Filipino culture can be very emotional at times, and occasionally, Filipinos may take things a little too seriously. And an important thing right here for a foreigner to note is that Filipinos don't like being confrontational. And if there are any problems, it's best to resolve them behind closed doors. As with the rest of Asia, the concept of saving face is very important to Filipinos. Filipinos are generally very patient and tolerant, but do not push them too far or you may very well make a permanent and vocal enemy. Many Filipinos thrive on recognition, so be sure to praise them when appropriate, and they'll respond very positively if the praise is genuine. I do hope that this video has given you a little more insight into understanding Filipino culture. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.